John Jonah Jameson III, also known as John Jameson, is a human in normal form and a werewolf or man-wolf. His affiliations include the Agents of Wakanda.
His notable aliases include Colonel Jupiter, Man-Wolf, Star God, and Carnage. His abilities include a skilled pilot and astronaut, an experienced hand-to-hand combatant, and the use of various weapons.
As Colonel Jupiter, superhuman strength, durability, agility, stamina and jumping, and enhanced size. As a man-wolf, superhuman strength, speed, agility and durability, enhanced senses, accelerated healing factor, large, razor-sharp claws and teeth, and lunar empowerment.
As Star God, vast superhuman strength, high-level durability, cosmic and telepathic powers, self-sustenance, wears a scale mail armor and the use of a broadsword, dagger, and a short bow and arrows. Born in New York City, John Jonah Jameson III, also known as Colonel Jupiter, Man-Wolf, and Star God, is the son of the Daily Bugle publisher J. Jonah Jameson.
Jonah is immensely proud of his son, whom he sees as a true hero.
Initially as an astronaut, he was first seen being saved by Spider-Man when his craft malfunctioned on re-entry, something that did nothing to endear the wall crawler to his father, resenting Spider-Man's form of heroism. On a later mission, Jameson was infected with spores that gave him super strength, but strained his body and mind. He was forced to wear a strength-restraining Jupiter suit and battled Spider-Man at his father's urging before recovering and calling himself Colonel Jupiter.
His father convinced him to go after Spider-Man, who had been seen apparently robbing a bank.
The web-slinger outsmarted him, and Jonah soon learned that Spider-Man was saving the bank from a bomb. However, Jonah did not care about the misunderstanding and was really out for revenge. Spider-Man managed to neutralize the spores with electricity, returning Jameson to normal.
While he was on the moon, Jameson found the mystical Godstone, an other-dimensional ruby. The jewel grafted itself to his throat and extended tendrils through his body. Moonlight activated the gem, which transformed him into the lycanthropic man-wolf, and he fought Spider-Man in this bestial form.
The ruby was eventually removed by Spider-Man. Sometime after that, the ruby was reattached to John by Morbius, the living vampire, who used the man-wolf as a pawn so Morbius could find a cure for himself. Man-Wolf was again thwarted by Spider-Man. Later, he was transported to the dimension known as Other Realm, from which the ruby originated and the source of the radiation that transforms John into the Man-Wolf.
It was revealed that the ruby was created by the dying star god to pass on his powers. While on Earth, Jameson could only partially transform, resulting in his berserk behavior. While in the other realm, he could fully transform, resulting in retention of his human consciousness while in lupine form.
He took the Star God mantle and acted as champion of the Other Realm, and gained new powers such as telepathy and energy manipulation. He fought his enemies with a sword, dagger, and longbow in this incarnation. Afterward, he opted to return to Earth, resulting in him losing the ability to fully transform, and the loss of all memories of being the Star God.
He later allowed himself to be subjected to a procedure that removed the ruby, restoring normalcy for some time. Jameson became the pilot of Captain America's personal Quinjet for a period, using the call sign Skywolf. During this time, he was temporarily transformed into Man-Wolf by Dreadman Druid, wanting the power of the Star God.
Jameson left Captain America's employ due to his attraction to Diamondback, Captain America's then girlfriend. Jameson remains friends with the Spider-Man and often tries to convince his father to let up on Spider-Man. He spent some time as Ravencroft's head of security and briefly dated its director, Dr. Ashley Kafka.
The Carnage symbiote briefly overwhelmed Jameson, using him to commit further murders before Carnage eventually bonded with Spider-Man, eventually becoming the Scarlet Spider. Both John and Ashley were fired by a replacement director, angry about the chameleon's escape and subsequent wounding by Kraven the Hunter. Via hypnotherapy, Kafka helped discover that Jack-o'-lantern had caused him to attack his hospitalized father.
This therapy also briefly unleashed John's man-wolf aspect, before Ashley was able to help John suppress his changes once more. During the Sokovia Act incident, John helped Captain America while the latter was in hiding. He was assisting She-Hulk in locating and signing up unregistered superheroes.
John has also been registered as the Man-Wolf under the Superhuman Registration Act. During this time, the criminal Stegron temporarily transformed him into the Man-Wolf again, as a side effect of a mad scheme to devolve the entire population of New York City.
He attacked Mary Jane Watson and May Parker in the Avengers Tower, but was subdued by Tony Stark's guardsmen before he could harm them. Reed Richards subsequently cured him of this form. John had been dating She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, and the two had been living together for some time, along with Augustus Pugliese, She-Hulk's co-worker.
Eventually, they eloped in Las Vegas. However, John was forced into becoming the Man-Wolf once more after being injected by a mysterious substance. After a brief rampage, John stopped fighting his inevitable situation and became the Star God again.
He now retains his intelligence while in Man-Wolf form, has the Star God's powers, and apparently can switch between human and lupine forms. His current superhuman status can be defined in his own words as "I'm a god," and is supported by a battle with the clone of the Mad Titan Thanos, in which he held his own.
However, John does not want to be the Star God because he feels that having powers makes him arrogant and savage. She-Hulk and Star God separated after She-Hulk discovered that feelings for John were influenced prior to their marriage by Star Fox, and had learned that John had hoped to convince Jennifer to give up She-Hulk's powers permanently. Dejected, Star God sought adventure in outer space before finally returning to Earth.
He resumed his human form and tried to reconcile with Jennifer, but when Jennifer rejected him again, John realized their relationship was truly over, and he signed the legal papers annulling their marriage. When it came to Jameson's next mission into space, Alistair Smythe, the Scorpion, and the new criminal Fly Girl attacked the launch site with an army of cyborg minions, each one wanting revenge on J. Jonah Jameson, where the three sabotaged the launch and hold John for ransom.
John was eventually saved. Soon after, Jameson was attacked on the Apogee 1 space station by co-workers mind-controlled by Dr. Octopus, wanting to take control of the station. With the help of Spider-Man and the Human Torch, he was able to save the day, and the station safely crashed into the ocean, its employees alive and well.
Jameson would eventually go into work in the military, testing out anti-symbiote weapons technology for the U.S. Armed Forces.
He would eventually be contacted by Special Agent Claire Dixon in the tasking of apprehending Cletus Cassidy, aka the supercriminal known as Carnage. Needing his expertise with the governmental-developed sonic defense system, on top of his experience with the alien hosting serial killer, John had believed that the god gem shattered by Spider-Man some years back. He'd been normalized and would no longer transform into the man-wolf again.
But due to the regenerative nature of both it and its powers, his body would continually regrow a new jewel which continued his transformations. John Jameson appeared as a member of the Agents of Wakanda in his man-wolf form. He was shown fighting vampires in outer space beyond lunar orbit.
John Jameson is a skilled pilot and astronaut and is experienced in hand-to-hand combat in a variety of weapons. During his spaceflight to the gas giant called Jupiter, alien spores found on the planet had attracted to and clung to John on his return trip home. These spores changed his anatomical physiology, causing him to enlarge and become physically denser than normal. He also ran the risk of cardiovascular and neurological complications without the use of a specially designed weighted suit which monitored his bio readings.
Also using his powers increased psychological instability, causing him to become increasingly more violent and aggressive whenever his emotions ran away with him. While Jameson was conducting search and rescue missions in the Middle East, the American military discovered that another Godstone had grown within his body, the original having altered his physiology to the point that he now spawns replacement gems. When the new Godstone is ripped out and crushed by Carnage, another immediately appears and heals Jameson. As Colonel Jupiter due to spore infection, which was garnered during his space mission to Jupiter, John Jameson had developed a supernormal physiology accommodating to the higher gravity and harsher atmospheric conditions of the planet.
Doubling his original size and physical strength, particularly in his lower body, which allows for jumping and leaping great distances at a time. Even being able to move fast enough to intercept Spider-Man with relative ease. Colonel Jupiter also boasts increased skin, bone, and muscle density, enough to resist super strength blows from the wall crawler, as well as dish out enough force to rupture steel or shatter masonry bare-handed, even on accident.
As the man-wolf, Jameson possessed superhuman strength, agility, speed, and durability, an accelerated healing factor, and heightened senses. He also has large razor-sharp teeth and claws to use as weapons once transformed. The man-wolf's strength and degree of intelligence varied according to the phases of the moon.
Jameson did not retain his personality or intelligence while in his man-wolf form, though the more feral side is capable of speech, but does not talk often. He was not a traditional werewolf and was invulnerable to silver. As Star God, while in the other realm, Star God possessed both his human intellect and the man-wolf's body, as well as vast superhuman strength, a high degree of durability, and cosmic and telepathic powers. Jameson, eventually learning to utilize the Star God power by force of will, could consciously change between human and wolf forms, fly across interstellar distances, survive within the cold depths of space unprotected and without a spacesuit. Along with teleporting between dimensions like Earth and other realm under his own power, he wears scale mail armor and uses a broadsword, dagger, and short bow and arrows.